I have a question actually because I can't remember.
Hmm.
Do you know about the whole Maddie thing or no?
Um, well, I know a little bit, but not the whole shebang. I know that the reason that your arm was bloody is because of that, and that's pretty much the extent of it.
That.
Because
You know what's crazy? You
I
know what's
needed
crazy
to
about
know
that?
that you weren't tortured. So,
You know what's crazy about that?
what?
Tessa? That's about the extent of it I know too.
Wild.
She texted me, right? Maddie, this is. She texted me. Okay, first of all, we held a meeting. The gang held a meeting. The intention of the meeting was to just get everyone together, set some small goals, keep people like moving. You know, obviously we're going to be grieving Charlie, but just give us something to do and try and get through it, right? And called the meeting. There wasn't a crazy amount of us around. I think there was like 7 of us maybe. And Maddie was one of them. And I started the meeting off by saying, listen, I'm going to be honest. I've lost count of how many people I've had to blood out in my lifetime, but this one is different for me. So I don't really know how to approach it or what to say because I'm. It's the first time I've had to blood someone out that I care for this much, right? And I
Yeah.
opened the floor for anyone to voice any concerns or issues or problems with how I handled things with no repercussions. And then I said, and then once we've voiced these things, we move on from them, right? Because I didn't know if people felt a type of way about what I did or how I did it, whatever, right? So I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
give people the chance to speak about it, where they know for sure I'm not going to feel a type of way about it or do something about it. And Maddie just walked out, didn't say a word, just walked away. Didn't say, this is all too fresh for me. I can't right now. Didn't say, I think you're fucking a dickhead for what you done. Didn't say a fucking word and just walked out. And I was like, okay, that's fucking crazy. Under the circumstances, I let her walk. I'll be honest, had she have done that in a different circumstance, there was a 50-50 chance she was catching a bullet to the back of her head. But we're all grieving, so I let her do her thing. People tried to reach out to her. She didn't respond for like a bit, so we held the meeting. We talked about shit. We had the meeting. Then apparently she texted Akino and was like, she's good. Let me know when the meeting's over.
Oh.
So meeting ended. I was going about my day. Uh, I was talking to Helen, about to go to bed, and Maddie texts me for a talk. Now, I had tried to talk to Maddie numerous times the past couple of weeks because I could tell she's been off. And every time I've been met with either her acting like everything's fine or just not saying anything at all. So when she texted me asking for a talk, I responded and said, are you actually going to talk this time? And she just responded, I'll ping you. And she pinged me. And she asked I come alone. So I went there. She stood there. I pull up. I say Maddie. She says Steve. I give her time to say what she wanted to talk about or open the floor. And she walks over to me and hands me her Dullahan coin, which you don't know is what I give to people when I blood them into the gang. And one of the rules is the gang not to lose it.
Oh.
I sit there in silence for like 30, 40 seconds, thinking she'll say something. Nothing. So I said, you're really making a habit out of not talking. To which she responded, you're really making a habit out of not listening. So just get it over with. So I cut her fucking throat. And left her there. The extremely frustrating thing about that is my friendship with Maddie started because I called her one day because I had a missed call from her and she sounded upset. And I picked up on that. And I forced her to talk to me. I met up with her. I spoke to her. I hadn't really got a friendship with her at this point, but I knew she was close to Helen. I knew she was close to Hazel. So I met up with her on a hilltop and I sat there for like an hour and a half and I listened to all her problems. And it was relationship issues. It was this issues. It was that. And that started our friendship. I gave her advice and that became like our thing. If she needed to talk, I'd meet her on a hilltop. We'd talk. And I'd listen. So the fact that it now has ended on her saying I don't listen is fucking insanity. And I just don't get it. And the only thing it stemmed from is when I was gone for a while and I was gone on trips and I was only back in town for like a day or two and then gone again. She and a couple others talked to me about like the problems in the gang. And they vocalized the problems. Some of the problems couldn't be fixed with a snap of a finger, and some of them I didn't think were problems at all. Most of the problems stem from the fact that most of us just weren't around much. Like, Helen was gone back to Wisconsin. I was looking for Flippy's house, fucking family home in Amsterdam. Kai and
So you could
Zora had
kill
gone
him?
to... Yeah, exactly. Kill his whole
Cool.
bloodline. And Kai and Zora had gone to Japan. Akano was even in Japan. Like a lot of people were on trips. So there was only a handful of people around. So obviously motivation was lower. People had to do more because there was less people around to share the workload, so on. I didn't agree with all the problems, and I vocalized why I didn't agree with them. And the conversation got a little bit like almost stale because she stopped speaking because I had counterpoints and disagreements to what she was saying. And she then basically took like a hiatus from everything she was doing from the gang, like almost out of protest. And since then, it's been like the same. She hasn't done anything for the gang. She was distant with people. She was doing her own thing, like, which is whatever. I was giving her the space. I tried to speak to her on multiple different occasions. As soon as the war with the hounds ended, I literally called her and I literally said like, hey, I wanted to check in because I know that conversation didn't end how you wanted it to, and we've been at war since, so it's not been an ideal scenario. I just wanted to check in and see how you were. And she told me, yeah, no, everything's fine. And I said, okay. And then like a week later, we were pushing weed and I pulled her aside and I basically said stuff along the lines of like, I'm not a brick wall, like we can talk about things. And she was like, yeah, I know. Didn't speak to me. Didn't once asked to speak to me, didn't like none of it. She just let it boil up inside and get to a point where she's willing to just walk away. And she can't even give me the respect at that point when she's leaving the gang to at least give me an explanation then.
Can I ask you something?
Mm-hmm.
With the problems that she presented to you, the stuff that you said couldn't be fixed with a snap of a finger,
Yeah.
you acknowledged that there were problems?
I acknowledge that majority of the problems that they were vocalizing were because people weren't around.
Mm-hmm.
And when people started to come back around, most of those problems would fix naturally. And I can't force people to come back around, right? Like if people are having fun elsewhere or on trips or whatever, it is what it is. You just got to get through it. They'll come back. Like one of the problems, for example, was they were like, we need to recruit people. We don't have enough people. And I said, I mean, I'm always open to bringing people in, but I can't just go out to Senior Buns and start, plucking people out of food stalls, Like, it has to be people we all like. It has to happen naturally. Like, if you have people you're open and think would fit, then bring them around. Like, it's not like I've told people we're not recruiting. I myself, when I made the gang, I kind of expelled all of my connections and got as many people in that I knew, and I don't know much people beyond that, right? So like if they had people they wanted to bring in, I said more than open to you bringing them around and seeing if they vibe. Like, I said that in that meeting.
That's the best way to recruit, is just have people come along to things, and if you vibe, you vibe, and if you don't, you don't.
Exactly. And it's like I didn't make this gang to be like strong and powerful and have 40 members, and like so I wasn't going to just start bringing people in because they're a valuable asset. Like the key point for me when making this gang is that everyone had to like each other. Like it had to be fun. People had to get on, which obviously has worked really well at the start, and tensions obviously built after time between people, but like that's natural. The thing about like they felt like they were doing everything for the gang, and I said, well, yeah, you're the only 3 people that come around, so
Yeah.
you have to, right? Or like you don't have to, but like if you're going to be doing work, obviously it's going to be only you 3 doing it. And it was frustrating because before I took a break, I done a fuck ton. Before Bernie took a break, he done a fuck ton.
Yeah.
People took breaks. They start doing a lot, which was really appreciated. But they like, I say they, it was mainly Maddie, because I feel like I spoke to Charlie separately and I spoke to Akano separately, and they understood things from my point of view a lot. Maddie never quite did. And it was frustrating. And one of the things she brought up as well was she felt like people weren't like, people needed to carry their weight more in the gang. People weren't doing enough. And when I asked for examples, the only person she would name was Helen. And I said, okay, what do you think she needs to do more of? And she used the example of that, like Helen doesn't do meth, doesn't cook meth. And I said, okay, neither does Bernie. Neither do some other people in the gang. I've never forced anybody to do stuff they don't enjoy, right? I said Helen enjoys heists, and she will be one of the first people to organize and or agree to go on a heist because she enjoys it. Maddie, you do meth because you enjoy it. Like that was her thing before she joined the gang, so obviously she carried it on in the gang. And that pissed me off because she kept saying, you know, it's multiple people, but she could only name Helen. And like, it's no secret, Helen doesn't like going shopping. Helen doesn't like meth. She doesn't like that shit, so she doesn't do it. And to me, that's fine, because she still does stuff. She still does the heist. She keeps the vibes up. She checks in on people. Like, she's not going to be the one to go get 10K materials, but she'll be the one to round up people and go do a fucking maze bank, or round up people and go do a cash exchange.
And get money to buy those materials.
Yes. So like, I'm of the opinion of like, so long as things work and the gang isn't like down horrendous on certain things, it's okay that people only do the things they enjoy. It's like Bernie. Bernie does a lot of like the I would call it like the admin shit. Like he checks that we have tourniquets and med kits, because he likes doing that shit in his downtime. But he doesn't cook meth because he doesn't like to cook meth. And I've never once forced him to cook meth.
Was Maddie ever being left off of meth runs?
No, Maddie was involved in almost every meth run she was around for. The only you know what's funny? The person that's missed the most meth runs, I think, is Helen.
That's kind of how we operate. It's like, if you don't work on the meth run, you don't really have a like right to be on the meth run and have the fun of it.
Yeah.
If you're not doing the chore of it. But to be honest, to me, meth isn't even a chore. It's just like a 5-minute thing.
Especially for us, right? Because we have the garage.
Yeah. You guys don't even have to go anywhere.
You take your table out of the van, You walk 5 feet, you cook meth, you put it back in the van. And we all do it together usually too. So it's like just 4 or 5 of us just shit talking, cooking meth.
Yeah. So I don't really... I could see it if it was like other chores, but if specifically she was mentioning it was meth, that's kind of silly to me. I don't know.
The only thing I can think of is that she never drove one, right? But I had brought up her driving meth runs in the past, and she'd been very hesitant about it. And like,
Yeah.
I don't, you know, it's like if she wanted to drive one, all she had to do was just say it. That wasn't. I was trying to get as many people on driving them as possible. Like, if she'd just turned around, if that was one of the things, if she'd have just said it, she would have been driving the very next meth run.
Yeah.
The vibe I got when I brought it up in the past is she didn't really want to do it. She could have easily done it. For a while she was the one managing all the meth. She had everyone's meth, so she was organizing the runs. If she wanted to drive one, she could have just said, "I want to drive this. I have the meth," and I would have said, "Bet." Because even I wasn't the one driving them. I haven't been driving them for months because I drove the first 4, and haven't driven one since. And we've done like 12 or 13 now. So
Well,
I really don't know. And
I think there had to be more to all of this than just that, because to me that just it doesn't make sense. You know, I, from an outside perspective, I don't really get it either. And for you to be so close to her on the inside and also not know what's the yuck that came from, I think it's just really kind of on her at this point, because you did try. You tried to listen. You
the
asked
thing is,
questions.
I know it's 100% on her. It's just so frustrating. It's like, why? Like, why did it get to this point? I'll be honest. I think this can't leave this car, and I don't think I know none of this will, but I think she had deeper issues with Helen than she was willing to admit.
Yeah, I agree too.
And I think she knows me and Helen are extremely close. So unless Helen did something crazy, like nothing was going to change that. And it's just, I don't know, because every time something was vocalized, it always, like, she was always brought up. Helen was always brought up. And I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's related to Helen that she decided to leave because maybe she realized. Because here's the thing, right? I was super close with Charlie as well, but Helen would never put me in a position that Charlie put me in. And I think
Definitely
Maddie
not on
realized that.
purpose.
I don't even think by accident Helen would do that. And I think Maddie realized that, and therefore her issues with Helen were never going to be resolved because it was her or Helen. So she just walked away.
Is it bad that I agree with you?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think
I
so.
wish I didn't, but I do. And I hate feeling like that, but just given how out of nowhere this came from, like, I don't know. I don't get it.
I just don't know why though.
I can't shake the feeling that it had something to do with me, but it's also an assumption, and, you know, she didn't even mention me, but I know Helen was spending a lot of time with me at the time that these issues kind of cropped up. And not even just me, but like the clowns, and like I kept pulling her away from things, and I needed her a lot this month. I can't help feeling bad that, well, maybe the distance didn't help.
Yeah, but that would be hypocritical of her if that was the case, because she spends a lot of time away from the gang as well. Like, she spends a lot of time with Rye and shit. Like, and also, I found the whole thing about her saying Helen doesn't like do stuff like meth and stuff hypocritical, because the amount of times we wanted to do a job and she would opt not to do the job and go night racing instead,
Yeah.
which only benefits herself. But again, I never had a problem with it because that's what she enjoyed, right?
Yeah.
And it's just really frustrating because you know the way I pulled you aside before the Charlie stuff and I told you everything, and one of the reasons was so that Helen had somebody in
Mm-hmm.
case it went bad for her. I did the same for Maddie, but not to the same extent. But I called Rye before it and I said, Maddie's going to need you real soon. I can't tell you why, but just be ready to be there for her. I'll let you know. And when I blooded Charlie out, I texted Rye and said, reach out to her now. So that she wasn't alone, because I knew based off how she's been closed off recently, she wouldn't speak to me. I don't know who she'd speak to. Couldn't guarantee she'd speak to anybody. But I knew the Charlie situation was going to fuck her up. So I did that with Rye. I don't know if she knows I did that or not. She probably doesn't. But I fucking did. Even with Charlie, even with Charlie, I contacted EMS, somebody I trust in EMS, and told them to be on call and be ready and bring what you need to bring to treat a cut throat. And I told them the area the call would come in from. And when I blooded Charlie out, I phoned EMS, and within half a second, EMS responded to my 911 and were there. I had to blood her out of the gang for what she did, but I didn't want her to fucking die. And like, I can't help but feel like people thought I like, no, I say people, I think it was Maddie, felt like I was biased towards Helen because how close we are. But like, I don't think they realize the shit I do for everybody. I'm biased to everyone in this fucking gang. Sure, I might go to Helen first when I need to speak to somebody, but I'm not going to go to fucking Maddie if she's not going to talk. Let's be real. Like, let's be fucking serious. Like, at least I know if I speak to Helen, I'm going to get a conversation out of her.
We got a thing that we say a lot in the clowns, and it rings true in almost every situation that I've dealt with since learning this phrase. Because sometimes people will say things and not exactly mirror it with their actions. Chatty always says it, like, actions speak louder than words. A lot of the time people will say stuff and then their actions will tell on them. In this case, nothing was said, and I think that alone is the action. I think she wanted to leave, and she was waiting for a reason. I think her mind had been made up, potentially even before Charlie.
Yeah, I think so too. That
Sorry.
was the other thing as well. It's like I crashed the fuck out on the gang like a couple days before the Charlie situation. Like bad. This is while I was still dealing with the brain trauma and stuff. But I lost my head at everybody because I was sick of people not listening. Like, I didn't ask much of people. Very few things I asked, and yet people were still ignoring the things I was asking. So I'd like had the whole gang that was awake at the time, and I was crashing the fuck out. And a lot of the shit I was saying applied to Maddie, but she wasn't there to hear it. And then Maddie woke up, and I spoke to her one-on-one after the fact. And I said the same things I said to the gang, but this time I didn't lose my head. I said everything calmly. And one of the things I said was she needs to sort her personal life out, because if I keep waking up and hearing she's in the ICU over stuff related to Rye or whoever, I'm going to just start killing motherfuckers.
Yeah, Helen warned me that if I ever put her in the ICU, I should watch out. And I was like, well, what the yuck? I'd never do that. And she was like, well, just, be careful.
That makes sense.
But I didn't realize what she meant at first. So I was like, are you about to die? Like, I thought I was freaking out a little bit. So I demanded
She probably
answers.
texted you that after I said that, because I said it to the whole gang too, because Charlie had been in the ICU numerous times over Seamus, and then we ended up in a war over the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then after that, I hear Maddie'd been in the ICU twice in 1 week over situations related to Rye, which apparently weren't his fault. But I wake up and hear Maddie's in the ICU. She was in a car accident with Rye, or she got pushed over a car. Like, this is the shit I hear, right? And I'm as their gang leader not supposed to just go find Rye and blow his fucking head off. This is what I was trying to say to Maddie. I was like, at the time, I understand that, like, it might not be that deep to you because you're in a fucking situationship or relationship with him, whatever it is. But if I wake up and hear you're in the ICU back to back, and both times he was involved, I'm gonna roll up and blow his fucking head off, and then I'll be the bad guy. So I told her to sort her shit out.
Can I ask you something?
What?
How do you think that looked to Maddie when you got put in the ICU because of my people?
I don't know.
Maybe there were feelings about that. The lack of retaliation or whatever. I don't know. We'll probably never know, but...
I mean, maybe, but
I
had been asked. They had asked me about it, and I said, I'm gonna get my get back on Kirk. Like, that wasn't a secret.
Yeah.
Which I think is fair. I think with the clowns, obviously, that would be that. I might have beef with Kirk for a few weeks, but that would be that. The same way, if I woke up and found out Maddie's in the ICU over Rye, I'm not gonna go roll up on Habibis and smoke Wolfie. I'm obviously gonna find Rye and hurt Rye, and it might become bigger. It probably, let's be real, it would become bigger. But I'm still not gonna just go smoke Hazel because Kirk shot me, for example. Like,
Yeah.
I need to find Kirk. I haven't seen that fat motherfucker since.
That's fair. Maybe that's the problem. You're looking for a fat guy.
Oh yeah, he lost his weight, didn't he?
Yeah.
But he has fat energy, though. I can't explain it. He suited it,
You should call him and tell him that. Tell him he's got fat guy energy.
He suited it so much better. I'm gonna say it. He was better when he was fat.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm gonna tell him that today. Oh my god. I don't know, man. I'm sorry that all that's going on. I know Helen is taking it a lot worse than I think people think. She might be letting on more to you than me, but I don't think she's taking it well either.
Nah, she's definitely not.
Have you, heard anything about Charlie or Maddie?
Charlie is alive because she read my text today.
Okay.
So I don't know what condition she's in, but she is alive. Maddie, I have no clue. None of us received anything from doctors when she went into the ICU. So clearly she updated her emergency contact list before deciding to leave because not a single one of us got any texts or calls from doctors. Either that, no, I was going to say either that or she's dead in a ditch, but no, because we found out via Rye that she's in the ICU.
That alone speaks volumes.
Yep. Extremely premeditated.
Ah. I'll probably try to check in with Charlie, because I don't dislike Charlie at all, and
Neither do I. It's difficult for me to even so much as text her now because at the end of the day, I
yeah, I mean,
almost killed her, right? So,
I have a question.
mhm.
And you don't have to answer it, but like, when you guys bled somebody out, are they dead to you?
Depends on the context. Like, we don't have like a firm. It's not like I think MCs do it in a way that if you're blooded out, you're dead, and you basically didn't even exist to them, right? The whole for me, blooding out is officiating them no longer in the gang. It depends on the context of whether they're dead to me or not.
Okay.
Like, if Charlie called me now and wanted to talk, I would still meet up with her and talk. Obviously, a difficult situation
Yeah,
in
I
general,
think it's
but I would
awkward
still have
right
time
now,
for
but
her.
like, down the line. But, um, Helen, when Louise happened,
Mhm.
said something to me about how she's dead to her now and that she can never talk to her again. Because she got blooded out. And that kind of bothered me, like, a lot, actually. Um, because I don't really think that is how you guys are. And
No, that's never been like discussed to that extent.
I think maybe it could benefit Helen to know that, like, Charlie's not effectively dead to her forever.
Are you sure she was being serious and this wasn't just like a
I
Helen?
actually
Like,
think she was. She said
okay.
it like Helen says it, but also there was some like weight behind it. I don't know.
I mean,
It
are
might
you
be
good
worth.
if I bring this up to her?
Yeah. It might be worth
Okay.
just talking to her about it, like just casually letting her know that if down the line she wants to remain friends, that's okay. Not even like close friends or anything, but like just you can still talk to her. I don't know. Helen is very strict on a lot of the gang stuff, and I think it's maybe she puts boundaries or walls up so that I'm not nosy and I don't pick at things, but like there's little stuff that she kind of goes crazy on that I don't think she needs to, and I think it drives her crazy to do it. Um, so I don't know. It might be something to think about with her, because I know she worries a lot about the gang and how they think of her.
I hope not to sound bad, but I do think a lot of that worry will be gone now that Maddie's gone. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way too, which sucks.
'Cause
I'm sad about that.
a lot of the people in the gang now are they're very open about their feelings. So if they had problems with Helen, they would say so, or if they had problems with a certain situation, they would say so.
Yeah, I think I think you guys have a pretty good group. I don't know most of them, though. I'll admit I only really know or knew Charlie closely outside of Helen and you. Maybe I could fix that, but I also think it might be healthy to keep my distance a little bit. I don't want to cause problems.
Listen. This group should be safe. This group should be safe. I think the looking at this whole thing from a gang leader perspective, emotions aside, having to deal with such a difficult situation and make such a difficult decision, if there's anyone else left in the gang that doubts my leadership and doubts the gang's direction, this is their chance, and this will be what pushes them over the edge to walk away.
Yeah.
So if everyone sticks around from this point on, then it's a fairly safe bet that they're here for good and they trust me.
Well, I hope they do. And you don't have to do any more, stuff.
Yeah, hopefully I can use the blood-in knife more than the blood-out knife.
Why'd you guys go with a knife?
Because we're Dullahans.
Well,
The blood-in process, right? It's actually pretty cool. Is I mark the back of their neck so that it scars because we're headless horsemen. So it's like a play on the fact that we're headless without actually being headless.
You guys are so
you know what I mean?
dramatic. You couldn't just get a tattoo?
And then I use the blood to mark their coin. And then they're blooded in, they carry the coin with their blood on it. It's great.
I'm just saying, getting a tattoo and then like a blood out as a tattoo removal would have been so much
That's
better.
not a blood out then. That's just like a tattoo out. And that feels more like a divorce than a gang blood out. You know what I mean?
Maybe it would feel less bad.
Maybe it would, but that's the life we live. Listen, it hurts like a motherfucker, right? But people need to realize the seriousness of agreeing to be blooded in. And for what it's worth, before I blood them in, I give them the opportunity to walk away consequence free. So if they had doubts, they literally have the possibility to say, yeah, I'm not sure I want to be blooded in, to be honest. I'm having doubts. And then I can say, oh, okay, fair enough. Walk away at your own free will.
King of the clown soul, case in my blood. Every plan I make, leave the block in a flood. Slip out of cuffs like they ain't even locked. PD, catch me once, then I'm already dropped.